Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? I see you all in the chat already. So excited. I hear Dexter, my dog, barking. So I know that these cameras are pretty good with noise cancellation, but just in case you hear him, it's him just barking away. How's everyone doing tonight? It is Tuesday. I don't know why, but it feels way later in the week, in my opinion. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. All right. Well, this is our last live stream of this series. So I wanted to start this live stream. A couple of reasons. I talked about it before, and while I talk about it, I will unpack my art supply bag. Let me move all my stuff over. Got my notes here. I wrote like a little diary to share with you all, so I have notes so I don't forget anything that I want to share because there's a lot. All right, let's do it. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm going to assume you can. All right, so welcome back, number one. And tonight we're going to paint again. I said I wasn't going to paint tonight, and then I decided I really feel like painting, so we're going to paint. And that's what we're talking about tonight anyway. So while I unpack here, I just want to say, like, since I started The Artist Way, I mean, that is literally how I discovered painting, right? I was not painting before that. I was working as a marketing agency leader. I was pretty much working all day, every day. I think I told y'all at one point during this series, ooh, looks like I got some yellow on me. Or, oh no, I had a leak. Oh, well, here's the disadvantage of putting things in a bag and not making sure that they are closed. So, pro tip for you all, don't put acrylic in your to-go bag or your couch kit if it's not closed. But I do want to show y'all 2 new things tonight, so it's okay. I just got it everywhere. Oh, my beam is safe. So I brought a beam up too to use tonight. Who all here loves beam? I know there's a lot of you that do. Spring green. This is my favorite. It's the best. All right, so like I was saying, I paint every day now since I did The Artist Way. That's how I discovered it. And I think a lot of the times when I say I paint every day, people, Becca, I'm sure I'd love beam. You will get some. I promise. I see it in your future. I am a house psychic. Did I tell you that? It's in your future. But anyway, so when I say I paint every day, I feel like people think, people that don't know me, people that aren't in our world, people that aren't in our community, they think that I'm painting some kind of masterpiece, right? Like I'm painting some beautiful painting that I'm going to show at a gallery, that I'm going to put in a store, that I'm going to sell someone, that I'm going to post all over Instagram and try and sell it. But that is not the type of painting that I personally do. I do my daily painting practice, and that is what I did in The Artist Way. When I started that 4 years ago, the once a week artist dates turned into like once a day artist dates because I had nothing else to do. And I painted at my kitchen table or my couch or whatever, wherever I was at the moment. So that is what I mean when I paint every day. And sometimes painting every day to me means I sit down and I have a couple of hours to paint, or I feel good enough to paint a couple of hours. Sometimes it's literally 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes it's 20 minutes. Sometimes it's 40. What I'm trying to get at is that you don't need a plan to paint. You don't need to have a fancy setup. You don't need fancy things. I mean, honestly, I could paint with this book, the brush I have in my water here, and this watercolor and a pen. Like, I could literally paint and create. My camera is doing that thing again, y'all. Sorry, this camera is not making me happy right now. Give me 1 second. I'm using my backup camera, and my other camera does not do this. Driving me crazy. Well, my settings aren't loading once again, so I guess we'll just have to live with it. But anyway, so you can paint with just what I have in the palm of my hand, right? You don't have to have a whole display of art supplies if you don't have that many, or maybe you do and you don't want to have them in front of you, whatever. The whole point is you can paint for 5 minutes. You can paint with one, two, three supplies, and it can be painting on your terms. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's about the process and getting in the zone. So I think on our first stream, whatever I created on our first stream, I did not like it whatsoever. But what I created on last night, I'm pretty excited about. I'm still not, I think I have a few things I want to update here. But this is from last night when we were doing doodles together. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I hate it, and that's okay. When I first started painting, the one thing that changed my life, and I'm going to share it with you all, and this goes for any type of art, right? I'm a painter, I'm a writer, I love music. I know some of you are fiber artists, some of you are ceramic artists, but I think the main thing, I totally just lost my train of thought, y'all. Totally just lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. I hate when that happens. Brain fog, man. Gets you good sometimes. Becca, you can count 3 to 5 minutes of exercise as legit. Yeah, exactly. Then you should be okay with 3 to 5 minutes of creative stuff. And that's the stuff we see all over, right? Like, just do it for a couple minutes. Just do it for a couple minutes. But it's just tough to actually make that happen, you know? So, anyway, what I was going back to is I have no idea what I was saying about all of us artists, fiber artists, ceramic artists. Um, but anyway, to get back on track a little bit, I think it's really important that we realize it doesn't need to be perfect. Like, we don't always, oh, it was what the person told me that changed my life. That's what I wanted to say. So, no matter what kind of artist you are, the one thing I heard when I started painting was that this painter said that anyone can be an artist. And one thing that people don't realize that they're really surprised by, they said, was that even though they are a professional artist, they show their work, they sell their work, they're fairly successful, they only like 1 in 10 or 20 paintings. 1 in 10 to 20. So, I feel that. Sometimes I love what I create when I'm in the flow, sometimes I hate it. If I hate it, I move on. So that also goes back to use your nice supplies. Even if you hate it, you can recycle it, collage it, paint over it, all of the things. Hi, Erin. The chat is popping off. I can't keep up, but I trust y'all are having fun in there. I know we were talking about Beam. Oh, looks like Megs, did you say you can't get it in Australia at the moment? Oh, really? That sucks. Huh. All right. So when I unlearned that I could actually not be a perfectionist and I could learn to paint for little tiny pockets in my day, things really changed for me. And painting became not just something that I was interested in or that I was passionate about. It really became part of my self care and part of my mental health care too, and my physical health, of course, as well. Because getting in the flow state has so many great benefits. We're relaxing our bodies, our heart rates, our breathing. We're getting in the flow state, which has a lot of really great impacts on our immune system. There are just so many benefits to art. I mean, there is a big movement happening right now, arts and medicine, social prescriptions, art prescriptions, where the medical world is seeing the benefit of engaging in the creative process and how it helps our health and well-being. So when I realized this and I realized I can sit down for any amount of time and it's still valid. No matter what my painting looks like, it's still valid. I am looking for the feeling of being in the flow. But you all know it, right? How do you describe being in the flow? For me, it's like my shoulders drop, all the tension is gone, and time melts away. So I have a very busy mind. Meditation is not for me, but painting, when I'm doing something with my hands and getting into the creative process, it feels almost meditative. And I have seen on my Aura ring, I wear an Aura ring all the time. I have seen the literal physical impacts of me dipping into relaxation. I think they call it relaxation mode in Aura Ring, like whatever the light blue is, or you're super relaxed. A lot of the times, even when I'm teaching classes like this, where maybe I have a lot of people here or I'm on Zoom, I am still getting in the flow and still getting into relaxation mode while I'm creating and talking, which is wild. So when I'm not talking, it's even better, right? My heart rate goes a little bit lower. I try to focus on my breathing. I try to relax my body. Sometimes I'll combine it with music. It all depends. So we're going to do a little doodle here today. I'm going to tell you just like a couple of like what does my typical week look like with my painting practice, because I want to share with you how realistic it can be for anyone really to adjust this and make it yours and have some kind of creative self-care practice. And that's something good that we can practice through the Artist Way because we have artist dates. So, who here is coming to Artist Way Week? Let me know in the chat. But Artist Way Week starts tomorrow, and we're going to talk about that quite a bit in session 3, where we go into detail on artist dates. All right, let's do it. So I want to show y'all. So I finished this last night. So this was the original doodle that I did a couple days ago. I'm just into doodling in this little mini book right now. So this is the original one. Becca, yay. Kim, awesome. Kim, I think I've done Artist Way Week 3 times now. I can't even remember. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites. The people make it so great. It's always so fun. So here's a doodle. Here's another doodle from when we were doing the art supply tests. And then here's the other doodle that I started. Last night after our stream, I went downstairs on the couch and I kept doodling. I sat at my art desk for a little bit, which is currently my dining room table, and finished up. And then I did some more this morning. So I did this one this morning. This one is Blackout City. I used my favorite Tombow pen that I shared with y'all in yesterday's stream. And I did this one, which I love. It's like a abstract florally type thing. This is the Royal Turquoise Aria Bond color. This is the Kuretake green that I have here. And this is the magenta, or I guess they call it, let's see, purple. But it's definitely pink to me, or magenta, and then a green one. Kim, do I have anything in the Peaceful Painting Club about the doodle? I'm not sure what you mean by about the doodle. Do you mean just doodling in general? We have lots of mark making classes in there. If you go to the search bar and put in mark making, I don't technically usually call it doodling. It's kind of a new thing for me, but search for mark making and you'll see lots of different doodling and mark making type meditative classes. And last month was all marks, right? Was that last month? Oh yeah. Well, Kim, the goal isn't for yours to look like mine, remember. All about the process, not the outcome, but I get it. If you want to learn it, I don't have, if you're talking about like these, I mean, I don't really have a class on them yet. I could certainly think about maybe doing a doodle month or something. Susie has a doodle, some doodling content too. She might be able to help me out with. Hi, Lynn. Yay, you're coming. Awesome. All right. So that's what I did last night. Oh, I did this one too. I forgot. I did like a more spaced out version where I did the leaves first. Then I did the back, or then I did the pen. Some more Royal Turquoise, and then just doodles again. So I'm really, oh, and I guess I did another one as well. So I could not sleep this morning. This is what I was up to. So I'm going to make another one because I'm loving this process so much. And I'm going to tell y'all some of the scenarios that I have when I make time for painting. Because I think at this point, for me, painting is like my sanity. especially with all the health issues. Like some days I'll feel really good, some days I'll feel really wiped out, some days I don't even know what's happening. So, having this painting practice that's flexible is really, 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 really important. And it honestly feels like no matter what, so no matter what happens today, tomorrow, and I've heard some of you say this too, like just knowing that I have my sketchbook to come home to or to walk down to or pull out wherever I'm sitting, whatever I'm up to. Every time I think about it, I just get so happy. Does anyone else feel like that? Where you're like having the worst day ever, and then you're like, oh, but I can at least go home and make art, thank God. Or I can at least get to my art desk or get out my supplies. For me, it's like at this point, relief from the craziness that is life. And I think anyone can benefit from this. You don't have to have a chronic illness. You don't have to have health problems. You don't have to be burnout. You don't have to be neurodivergent. Like, this truly is for everyone. And you don't even need to make it pretty. So I'm just doing some doodles right now with this indigo color. I'm using the Aria Bond Indigo Eclipse in my Lita Art sketchbook with my Princeton Neptune size 8 brush. Oh, yeah, Becca, I love how you said that. Creativity is like breathing for me. Yes. Like if you don't do it, you feel it, right? Like when once you get it ingrained in you, and I don't want to call it a habit because I don't view it as a habit. I view it as a practice and a ritual. I feel like habit makes it sound not so great. I don't know. But once you get into the ritual, and let's say you're just not feeling good, you don't have the energy, life is lifing, whatever, and you don't get to your sketchbook, I feel it. Does anyone else feel like the urge or like something's missing that you just want to create? Even if it's not a sketchbook, I know lots of you have tons of different creative. So, whenever I say painting, you can totally interject it with any kind of art for sure. So, how do I fit this into my life? So, if you don't know, I do work a full time job. Luckily for me, my full time job is on West Coast hours. So, typically, I do not have to get up early. So, I'm very grateful for that. So, a couple of times a day that I paint is typically at night, pretty late at night. Once I have all my work done for the day, once all the family stuff is done, I play with the dog, I talk to my husband, whatever, all those types of things. And I'm starting to wind down. I now have a pretty solid nighttime ritual where I sit down and do stuff just exactly like what we're doing right now. So, right now, I'm just doing some indigo leaves of various sizes. But this is what I'll truly just sit down and do for a couple minutes. Um, if I have a really tough day or my energy is really low, maybe I just grab some backgrounds that I've already painted and doodle while I'm watching TV. Sometimes I can do that for hours and hours and hours, or just a couple of minutes. If my POTS is acting up, I got at some point, I can't even remember when I got this, but I did get like a lap desk so that I can sit in bed and like lean back so my heart rate isn't as high. Like I told y'all, I'm sitting at my desk right now. My heart rate's probably like, I don't know, over 100, even though I feel super relaxed. It's just the nature of the syndrome. But I have a lap desk. So if I'm having a bad health day, POTS day, energy day, but like I can't sleep, so it's tough. Like it's like, what do? If you sometimes it feels like you can't win, like you can't sleep, but you don't have energy to do anything else. That is when I pull out my sketchbook. Also, if you're super low energy and you don't want to pull out a sketchbook, I have another recommendation for you, which is an Apple Pencil and an iPad. I know they're pricey. Obviously, you know, not within everyone's budget. I took forever to buy mine because of the price, but Apple Pencil, you can literally just turn on your iPad. You can get a screen that feels like a screen protector that feels like paper and create that way, which is super low energy. You would obviously want to be blocking the blue light if you're doing it at night. But as an example, there's modifications that you can certainly do. I was going to put that in there, but I don't think I am. All right, I don't want to use this anymore. So that's one way I do it. On weekends, so I try to at least on Saturdays at least. In my mind, I mentally allocate some of my time when I actually have energy. So weekends, that could look like in the mornings once I wake up on Saturdays. If I'm not teaching a class, maybe Sundays before or after class. So it just depends on what I'm doing at the time. But I think weekends feel a little bit more realistic for me in terms of painting. When do you all paint? Tell me in the chat if you feel up to it. Like, what do you have a ritual? Do you have a specific time? Like, mine is definitely night. Always night, sometimes morning when I can't sleep or on the weekends. I have no idea what I'm doing with this painting. I just made a funky green color by having some indigo on my brush yet and getting this Kuretake yellow, and now it's like this olivey light green color, I guess. When does everyone create? Whether it's painting, knitting, crocheting. Becca, all your fancy. Again, Becca's designing a wedding dress, like no big deal, right? Only a wedding dress. Sometimes I'll just have this bag. So if I'm traveling, I will take this bag with me. If I have a work meeting. So for my full-time job, there are a lot of meetings, and a lot of them I need to be in, but they're not specifically super relevant to me. So sometimes I will doodle during the meeting, and it makes it a lot more doable, helps me pay attention. That's for sure. Okay, Becca said I love making in the evenings before I give my hours away to everyone else. Sounds like creative life. Meg's usually painting when I first wake up. Ooh, with morning coffee at night on the couch. I love that. Love the morning coffee. It makes me think of morning pages. So, one thing we're going to do in the Artist Way week, we have a whole session dedicated to morning pages, which is one of the tools that Julia talks about. And it's a very popular tool. I mean, do a Google search on it, you will see everywhere talks about morning pages. There's articles everywhere. But one alternative to morning pages is morning painting. So Meg, getting it out on the page, of course, it's going to be different than what Julia talks about in the book. But that's just one option I love to give, or you can journal and then paint over it. So that's always an option for the morning. All right, I don't like this, so I'm turning the page. Let's do something more simple. See, that's what I do when I don't like something. I had fun creating it, and then I just turn the page. I really like this one. This one was fun just to scribble. So I'm just going to do some scribbling with my Neo colors. Again, this is how I do my art practice. Does not need to be complicated. You do not need to be an artist worthy of the Louvre to be an artist, to enjoy the process, to benefit from it. for your health and your well-being. I promise you. So this is a Neo color too. We talked in our last stream last night that these can be activated by water, which I might do here in a second. I'm using a navy blue type color and then a dark green right now. And I'm just doodling my petals. For those of you practicing doodles, I honestly use the petal shape and variations of it. That's pretty much it. In the Peaceful Painting Club, too, in addition to the mark making classes we have, if anyone's in there, we did have a whole month last year that was called Find Your Soul Style, where we did go through and look at different shapes and colors and all kinds of things to figure out what resonates with you the most. So that might be something to check out too, especially if you're just getting started painting, if you're in the Peaceful Painting Club, which is my monthly, or not my monthly, my weekly painting membership with a massive on-demand library. Which, before I forget, for anyone that's here, you're getting insider info. I told you like a year ago, probably, if not more, that I wanted to build our own app. Like, I want you to be able to go to the App Store. I'm just activating some of this with water just for fun to see what happens. I want you to be able to go to the App Store, not get the Circle app. Like, I want you to get the Inner Peace Art Studio app. Does that make sense? And I think I might have finally found the solution, which I'm super freaking excited about. So hopefully soon this year, at some point, the Peaceful Painting Club is even more easy to use because we'll have our own app. And you won't have to switch between other communities. You can just pull ours up. It'll be amazing. We'll have the library in there on your phone and the web too, of course. But it's been on my mind so much. It gives me more freedom to do what I want with it too, a little bit. Not total freedom, but a little bit. All right, I'm having fun doing this. This is very soothing. So I have my round brush, just a little bit of water, and I'm going over some of this Neo color that I doodled with, Neo color 2. The nice thing about this is it's very couch friendly, very bed friendly, because you only need a tiny bit of water. There's no water dripping from my brush whatsoever, just a tiny, tiny bit. So it's not messy at all, but it's very powerful. You see how blue that is? Just from the crayons. Look how cool that is. I love it. So I do want to use my favorite color. I did want to show you Beam. We were talking about it earlier, but this is Beam Spring Green. So my favorite Beam colors are Spring Green, Wintry Night, Robin's Egg, Sky Color, Graphite, Cherry Magenta, and I think those cover it. Rainforest. I don't know if Rainforest is a top 10, top 5, but it's a favorite. So when and if you can grab some beams, those are some good ones to have. So I'm just going to add some tiny little wispy little buddies in here. I don't even know what they're going to be. Just want to add like a lighter color, and then I'm going to do some doodling because that's what we're all here for, right? Doodling. Actually, I'm going to start coloring in some of the background where I can doodle with my black pen on it. We'll see how that looks. So I'm totally into abstract looking art. If you're new around here, I am not a realist. So when I'm painting too, I think what held me back from painting my entire life, aside from when I was required in college courses or when I thought I was going to become a painter and then bought stuff and never used it, I thought that you had to be able to make realism stuff. Has anyone else ever had that false belief of like, I can't, like, I definitely can't be an artist because I can't do realism, or I can't draw that house or that animal. I can't do a portrait. I can't do a person. It wasn't until I really dug into the artist way and I started learning about art and the creative process that I was like, oh, we're all creative. We all have value no matter what we're creating. And things can be abstract, they can be your interpretation. That is literally the beauty of art. And once I realized that, it was so freeing. You can probably tell my favorite colors are blue and green and black. Maybe some Payne's gray too. That's a favorite. It's interesting. When I first started painting, I didn't use a lot of the same colors. I was a lot more, I would say, experimental until I found what I liked. And then when I found what I liked, I'm like, okay, well, I love this. And every time I try and change, I'm like, but I don't love this. So I go back to what I love. And there's no shame in that. Phyllis, I can't even do a stick figure. Same. I really can't. I'm not exaggerating. Okay, what about days off? We didn't cover days off. We're allowed to have days off, right? So if you're having pain in your hands, for example, I know a lot of people struggle with pain in your hands, mobility. Give yourself rest days. You don't need to be creating 24/7. And if you need a rest break, but you still want to do something, think about other things that maybe you could try or do instead. So, voice to text, maybe you write a story by doing voice to text or something when you don't have the energy or it feels painful to get the brush out. So that's one way, but also just take a break. You don't need to create every day. A daily painting practice has been really beneficial for me, but I miss days. Like when I got back from California a couple weeks ago, I was so tired from that trip, like bone tired, chronic illness, fatigue, tired. And I didn't paint for maybe 4 or 5 days because I was just so tired. And that is perfectly okay too. Erin, I paint a lot of the day since I don't work. I love that for you. I love that you are spending your time. You could be doing a lot of other things, and painting is so good for you. Yeah, I hope to see you at Artist Way Week. So that's really how I fit it in. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing crazy. It's truly embracing imperfection, right? A lot of us have grown up and we've heard time and time again, like, we need to do all the things, we need to do them perfectly, we need to do really good at them, we need to keep getting better, blah, 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 blah. Like, don't let your painting practice or your creative practice become that. This is your self care time. If you got to take a break, you got to take a break. So I'm starting to doodle now with my favorite black pen. This is 100% my favorite thing to do ever. And I use this philosophy with the artist way too. Like if I'm thinking about morning pages, you all know by now, I've told you time and time again on these streams, I change the way I do them. Sometimes I do them in the morning, sometimes I do them at night, and guess what? Some days I don't do them at all. And I still continue on. Missing a day or not doing them doesn't mean you're a failure. You can always hop back in when you want. So that's something I've really had to teach myself as an all or nothing person, before I would miss a day, and then I'd be like, okay, it's over. I missed morning pages. I'm done. Or I missed my artist date. I didn't paint today. I'm never painting again. That was me several years ago. So the artist way has definitely helped me figure that out too. Like, how can I make things work within my capacity? So this is all stuff I teach in the artist way, and you can have this too. Like if you're watching this and maybe you don't have a painting practice, maybe you don't have a creative practice yet, or you do and you're struggling trying to find time for it, or you're just not sure what you want to do. These are the exact things that we're going to talk about in Artist Way Week. So, like I said, regardless if it's painting, if it's doodling, if it's collaging, if it's journaling, if it's textiles, if I could speak. What other kinds of art? Pottery, beading, jewelry. We have all kinds of people that come through Artist Way, which is super fun and inspiring. Music. But all of this, you can adapt it to fit your energy, your life. Don't listen to society's BS telling you you need to do it X number of minutes a day to actually be valid or enough. It's just not true whatsoever. And that's a lot of the stuff we talk about in Artist Way Week and in my 12-week Artist Way cohorts is how do we modify these rules of the book to help us find ourselves again, to help us find the things we love, to help us find new hobbies or learn more about a hobby we already have. But we don't need to do it in such a strict, unflexible way. So that's my 2 cents on it all. And I'm just having so much fun doodling. I don't want to stop. What I need to figure out is how we can play music on YouTube so I can, like now I'm kind of done chatting and maybe I want to finish this. I could turn the music on. I think I saw in the chat someone likes to watch. Yeah, Becca, I like watching PPC classes. It's really relaxing, even if I'm not making. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I catch myself watching my own reels painting because I just love it. It's like hypnotizing almost. Does anyone here have any like unique ways that you fit in your creative practice in your daily life? Erin said she's made it a big part of her life by painting every day, which is amazing. Or most of the day. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm gonna try and zoom in a bit. The camera might get funky, so I might end up saying no. But since I'm doing such small, tiny doodles, I promise next time I'll get my... Let me also turn the light down. That might be causing it a bit. Let's try that. It's going to be a little darker, but hopefully it doesn't zoom in and out as much. So Kim, you mentioned some of my doodles. I'm going to assume you mean some of these like flower burst ones that I've been doing lately. It's actually pretty simple. I just start with a little loop. So basically like a little petal. I look at these, so I talk about I'm not a drawer. So I think of them as parentheses. So I just go, oh, look, I'm drawing a parenthesis. Oh, look, I'm drawing another one. We all can draw parentheses in some way, shape, or form. And then I just keep drawing them over and over. And then to get them looking a little looser, I kind of get in a rhythm. So I start doing these like little loops around and I follow the middle. So like this intersection here. And I just keep going around and around and around and around. Some of them I'll like make them different lengths, heights, widths. I can't talk. So that's how I do these ones. It's honestly like almost scribbling, quite frankly. And I just go around in a circle type sheet. So that's that one. The other ones, again, the parenthesis shape is like apparently my soul shape. So I'm still doing parentheses. They're just a little bit longer and more pointed. These could be really great to practice. It would be very meditative if you just did these shapes over and over again. If you want to experiment and learn them a bit more and find your own style, could be fun. But really it comes down to that parenthesis C shape. All right. Does anyone have any questions about Artist Way Week, how it works? I will be sending you, a lot of you are signed up, so I'll share. You will get reminder emails before the session. So if you did sign up, you will be getting those. You should have got one today, I think. I can't even remember at this point, but I have them scheduled. Tomorrow's session starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's New York time. And we're going to do a deep dive into the Artist Way. We're going to talk about all the tools, what the book outlines, what I recommend. And then we're going to do a little bit of a life audit. And the goal of that audit is to find one tiny little thread, something that when you think about it, it lights you up, gets you excited. And that's the one thing we're going to work on and think about through our week together. So try to start thinking about things you've always wanted to do or things you've always wanted to learn. Does not need to be some big, huge, grandiose thing. I always use singing as an example because in the 4 years I've been doing the Artist Way, every time I say I'm going to take singing lessons, and I have yet to do it. I do all the other things except that because I have a block there. Still working through it. But instead of, pressuring myself to do, I'm going to go take a singing lesson, maybe I download a singing app and start practicing that way in a way that's safe to me. So we're going to start thinking about that. So you'll have a thread that will carry through our week together. And then for some of you, if you continue on to the 12-week cohort, which we don't have a lot of spots left, and we have 200 some people registered for Artist Way Week. So we might run out of room because I keep them fairly small. So just be aware. But we're going to do that tomorrow. And then that thread can be something, if you want, to carry through to your Artist Way 12-week experience as well. I don't know, y'all. I'm feeling pretty in the flow right now. Does anyone know if you're doing the Artist Way? Is there something you already know you want to learn? I always try to pick one thing for my set, like when I do it with you all. I think last year I wanted to launch a blog, which I did, but then I didn't update it. But now I have my Substack, which I find a lot easier to keep updated. So I've been doing that. Painting obviously came from the Artist Way. I feel like I want to try and do a little more in-person stuff, so that might be a focus for me. It's just really tough, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this. Like if I book an art class, for example, and it's in person, sometimes I'll wake up that day and I just won't feel good, and there's just no way that I'm going to have the energy to go. So that like holds me back a bit because then you're wasting money, of course. So the chronic illness tax that we pay. But maybe something like that, more community in person. Although I will be doing my practicum. So I'll be doing a practicum for my arts and medicine grad degree this summer as well. So maybe I'll choose something around that too for my Artist Way focus. We'll see. And you don't even need a focus. Some people just like to have like one thing that they work towards, or it can just be experimenting with many millions of things. Some people come in and like use it as a time to experiment and try so many different stuff, so much stuff. The stories I could tell you of all the things people have gotten into. Portrait painting. Someone in my Artist Way groups actually ended up getting sober from the experience, which is really, obviously humbling, and I was, so grateful to be involved in that. Claire, who some of you already know, who is also coming to the PPC to guest teach, she started her massage business in the Artist Way with me. I literally have the chat where she says she wants to start her own massage business, and now she's done it. It's like my all-time favorite story ever because we actually grew up in the same town, but we weren't like super close friends. We were friends, but not, like hanging out. We knew each other, took classes together. And then many years later, here we are. Now we are friends. And she's been doing so much great stuff with her massage business and her local community. So the Artist Way can really open up so many doors that you don't even know about right now. I think that's the magic of it. Becca wants to focus on saying no and not feeling selfish about creating for me. I love that. There is, for those of you that haven't read the book yet or seen the book, there is quite the section on boundaries. There's also some better modern day publications that I can recommend on boundaries, probably. The one is by, I think her name is Netta. Is that her name? What is it? Make boundaries, find peace, something. Oh my gosh, I can see it in my head. But that is a really great book. And we'll do that in our Artist Way 12-week cohort too. Like we'll talk about, oh, I'm focusing on this. Oh, well, here's some resources you might want to think about. We're a very resourceful and connected group. I love it. All right, I've started doing some more petals here and some blacking out. Thanks to everyone that liked the stream. I see I got 4 likes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When you like these videos, I'm learning it helps YouTube know that people are watching and helps other new people discover the channel. So thank you, thank you. We obviously are in our first week of the channel, and the fact that we have over 100 subscribers, I am so, so, so grateful and so excited about. I've wanted to do something like this for a really long time, but I never had the energy. But I've been on quite the healing journey, at least over the last, I would say, 6 months, where I've really gone deep with a lot of medicine, a lot of food changes, life changes, and it's really helping me have more energy to do this kind of stuff, which is what I wanted. So after today, I was going to do a stream tomorrow with like frequently asked questions about the Artist Way, but I think I'm going to actually record that as a video and post it at some point. So we're not going to do a live stream tomorrow, but I will be doing more live streams. So make sure you're subscribed. You can subscribe on the channel homepage and you can turn on notifications. That way you will get notified. So when I watch my favorite live streams, I have notifications set so it emails me and gives me like a pop-up saying, hey, this person's live. So it'll be like, hey, Creativity for Chronic Illness is live. So you'll know. And I think we'll always be doing doodling type stuff like this or painting and chatting. Art supply experiments is something I really want to dig into a lot. So if you have any supplies that you want me to try out, that you want me to demo on YouTube, just let me know. Drop it in the comments. If you're in my community, tell me in there. I sent out an email newsletter earlier asking for art supply ideas. You could reply to that and let me know. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to invest. I think our goal should be, because she's not here, I don't think, or we'd see her in the chat. Can we find an art supply that Dina doesn't have? Can we find an art supply Dina doesn't have to experiment with? That is your challenge. Don't tell her I said that. We'll see if she watches the replay. And I get a message. What are you talking about? If you're new here, we also like to joke around with each other. Totally chill, no drama. Becca said that's a massive challenge. I love a good challenge. All right, I've got the wildest wild thing going on here. I love it. So soothing. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to start wrapping up the stream. Thank you all so much for coming this week to all of my Artist Way paint and chats. I really appreciate it. If you feel like some of the stuff I'm sharing, like modifying your creative practice, exploring new things that you love, finding yourself again, if you've been in a tough season, if you're retiring and you don't know what the heck to do, or you got laid off, or you left your job like I did, this is a great tool to dig in and find yourself again and figure out, what do you like? What do you enjoy in this life chapter? And we're going to do a lot of that in Artist Way Week too. So join us in Artist Way Week. And then during Artist Way Week, you'll have the option, if you want to continue on for the 12 weeks. That cohort starts on Sunday, our orientation, which can totally be watched on replay as well. But yeah, something to think about. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, or like I said, in our community, if you're in there, you can email me. The website link is in the description, as is the Artist Way Week information. All right, there we go. Look at all that wild doodling. Who knows what this is going to end up looking like once I'm done. I'll probably keep doing this at some point tonight, because that's just what I do. I was going to show y'all this, but we didn't get there. I'll do it on a different paint and chat. Maybe we'll do an acrylic painting. But what I was going to show, and I'll just share a little bit right now, is Golden High Flow acrylics. Now this is messy, so I don't know that I would recommend using this on the couch, the bed, the car, the appointment room, whatever. It's messy, it smells, it also has chemicals in it. You can see it does not have that AP, the approved products label. So acrylic means plastic, chemicals, but these are very liquidy and transparent. That's what I wanted to show you. They're very transparent. So you can see here on the bottle, the blue's less transparent, but you can still see the black lines behind. So these are some of my favorites when I'm doing abstracts and different types of like sketchbook spreads. It's messy, but it's fun. So maybe next time we'll pull these out when I have a bigger piece of paper. All right, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I hope to see you all soon. If you're in the Peaceful Painting Club tomorrow night, we have our guest live virtual acoustic concert with Allison Sky, who is a singer-songwriter and is also a Lyme disease warrior. So she's very familiar with chronic illness life, and her song lyrics are very inspiring, and talk a lot about her journey and challenges and stuff like that. So she will be singing, and she will be our playlist for the night, and you will have open time to create. If you want to join the PPC, if you follow me on Instagram right now, I do have a free trial in my bio. You can totally check that out and join us tomorrow night. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you soon. Thanks for coming. Bye, everyone.